Alright, so this is how to beat the Fire Fist 4-axis. I will be doing a 3-axis a little bit later down the line, but for now I'm going to talk about 4-axis. I tend to face 4-axis from time to time, more so than 3-axis. I think I've only seen one 3-axis being played when I play test. I like 3-axis. I'm a fan of 3-axis, mainly because it could utilize rekindle, so that's part of what I like about it, and then just the recycling ability to sync on X, Y, Z. So I like that. 4-axis ain't bad, you know what I mean. I like 4-axis. It's just 3-axis a little bit more my style. Alright, so how to beat 4-axis. A lot of people like to do stuff like, you know, fairy winds and overworked and other stuff, maybe even spell shadowing arrow. You know, these are the types of cards you'll side in, but the idea is, like, you know, is to use main deck cards. But of course you can use, you know, fairy wind and overworked. If you already have it mained in your deck, then that's good for you. You could take advantage of that already. But if not, right, these are other options of cards you might have main in your deck. You have mained. I haven't finished this list because obviously I will put in Dark Hole into the list. Lightning V. If you already main deck it, these are some good cards to use to get rid of the monsters. The main thing is, it's not really about getting rid of the back row, it's more about getting rid of the monsters, which is why a lot of people like using overworked, because it gets rid of the monsters. You could care less about the spells and traps. It's the monsters that you care about. You know what I mean? That's why I normally don't MST tanky. When somebody plays that, just let them play tanky. Let them get whatever monster they want. Once they summon it, boom, I deal with it. You know, I'll Regeki break the monster, and it's like, boom, problem solved. Now granted, 4-axis do use wolf bark, so you'll be like, well, he'll just wolf bark next turn and just go off. And like, well, you could, but by then I probably have another answer. Probably have an answer for wolf bark, so it wouldn't even be a problem. But you see, MST, you know, get rid of the tanky. Sometimes just getting rid of the ammunition, because let's say that you left the tanky on the field, you destroyed their bear, for example, then next turn they summon another bear, just normal summons a bear. So now that bear could use that tanky that was left on the field as ammunition, right, to destroy a monster. And you already used up your Regeki break on the first bear, so now you obviously can't, unless you draw another Regeki break, then you can just get rid of bear. But if not, and you have an MST, well then MST the tanky, so he can't use the tanky to get rid of your monster. So again, it's just about how you use what you have at the moment to do something. Sometimes, you know, your opponent, you go first, you set some stuff up, and then you see your opponent play something based off of what you have in your hand and in your field. You know, you might determine if you really need to stop the tanky or not. You know what I mean? Remember, tanky is the rota, so you have to decide, do you want him to choose the monster he's going to have? You know what I mean? So, do you want to stop him from being able to get the monster? Or do you don't care if he gets the monsters because you already got the bottom list, the trap holes, and so forth and so forth? I don't have bottom lists on this list, but I mean, you already know stuff like that, like trench hole, mirror force, deep prison, blah blah blah. Warning, that probably get limit banned, but if not, then you got warning as an option. These are cards that you might have mained in your deck that you can use, of course. So shadowing, get rid of that. The spells, get rid of the tanky. right? And the Tensus and anything else they have in their back row. You get rid of it, so that way you don't have to worry about the extra power boost and all the other powerful effects that they get. Because Tensu is a really awesome card. The extra normal summon, we all love that extra normal summon. Shit, Monarchs would love that extra normal summon, right? Oh man, if they got that ability, they were to get it, they would spam. Enemy controller taking their monster, you know what I mean? So that way they don't have it. Also comes in handy in like in a mirror match, because then let's say hypothetically, what would be the scenario? Let's say they have Tiger King on the field and they have Bear on the field, right? And they already used up their tanky with their Bear to get rid of one of your monsters, and let's say they dealt you damage, right? Then it's your turn, you draw. Let's say you draw Gorilla. Obviously Gorilla won't be able to do much against the Tiger King, because Tiger King's pretty strong, and you know, not much you can do against Bear other than just bunkheads, right? So since you want to reduce the fact that he has a good amount of monsters on the field, because you can deal with a Bear more so than a Tiger King. So let's say you summon let's say you already had a tanky on the field, right? They really had no use for it, or even a Tensu, it doesn't matter, right? Then you summon the Gorilla, your enemy controller, and then you take his Bear. Use Bear's effect, right, to send, let's say in this scenario, Tensu to the graveyard to pop his king, his Tiger King, right? Now you can attack him with Bear, get Bear's effect, get like a tanky, right? Set the tanky, in phase 2, activate it, add your own Bear, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's the fact that you could utilize your opponent's own monster against them, in a mirror match aspect, of course. I mean, another thing to take into consideration, if you're playing a Bujin deck, obviously you're going to have a tanky, right? So there you go, you got a tanky enemy controller. You summon a Crane, hypothetically, right? You summon a Crane, enemy controller the Crane, take his Bear, use his Bear's effect on your tanky, pop, attack, get another tanky, activate it, get your Yamada, right? Boom, now you'll be set for the next turn and all that other good stuff. It's just something to take into consideration, because you never know, you might be in that scenario, and this little combo here might be useful to you. You know, Book of Mooning, Book of Eclipse, since they're quick plays. Once they summon the monster, just respawn, boom, put Bear face down. Easy to beat him if he's face down, because you can run him over. I don't have to worry about him activating his effect because he's face down. Don't have to worry about XYZ summoning into what's his name, into Tiger King, or even any XYZ if you put the monster's face down. Swords and Concealing comes in handy with let's say your opponent has some Bears and Tiger Kings on the field ready, and you can just Swords and Concealing, stall long enough to make a comeback. But they can always draw a Bear, maybe, right? Not Bear, a Gorilla. So you gotta worry about that. Red screen. Because mainly, other than Direwolf and Gorilla, most of the Bear and Tiger King, which is usually the typical go-to cards in a 4-axis, they're not going to, they're more about getting rid of your monsters and attack you for damage. So your red screen will pretty much still be on the field, so you can defend yourself with it and any other defensive trap you might have. Something even like Phoenix Chain, it's pretty good because it acts both as a defensive card, obviously, prevent your opponent from being able to attack you, but also negates their effects. So it's similar to skill drain, effect veiler, and its use. Karma could just straight up just get rid of the monsters, just period. Just getting rid of it is good because you don't have to worry about the wolf bark thing. See, with Regeki break, you know, the monster will go to graveyard, so then wolf bark would be useful to bring it back, and then they can XYZ blah blah blah. You know, good way of preventing this, just straight up get rid of the monster permanently, or at least just get rid of it, and then your opponent has to work hard to bring it back from out of play. Or if like a Leviar or some shit like that, right? Torgai and Leviar. If they do that, that'd be funny. But hey, it works. Whatever works, works, right? I already said Phoenix Chain. You know, Trap Hole. Somebody pointed this out, and you know, it's like, yeah, Trap Hole, but it's not. It is just generic card, so yeah, it can go in every deck, but at the same time, a lot of people don't. They prefer to opt for Bottomless than Trap Hole, but Trap Hole, yeah, it was good back then when it came out. It's good now. It's just a matter of, does it matter, right? Doesn't matter to play. So Trap Hole, yeah, does work, because the whole idea of this was like, yeah, Trap Hole is a good card because it destroys a monster. Most of the monsters you got to contend with when it comes to the Fire Fist, 4-axis, for example, they have to summon their monsters, right? They have to normal summon the monsters, so Trap Hole works great against that, just because it's, you could run in 3 bombs. Is what, 1 per deck or some shit like that. Compulse, same, 1 per deck. So it makes no sense. You know, when you go, especially when you go up against that deck, you know they're gonna summon and recycle and summon and recycle. So it's like you need more outs. You can't be satisfied with 1 bomb or one compulse, 1 warning. That's not enough. You need. Me, I like to max out. I gotta have 3 of everything. That's just how I roll. The more the merrier. They're fire-based attribute decks, right? So Catastor, obviously. I've been waiting for this to appear on Dueling Network, and since it came out today, I'm like, you gotta start throwing it into some videos, right? I'm gonna start putting it into some decks, because I've been in scenarios where I can make this and I can use the effect more effectively, because it is a good option as opposed to Black Rose. Black Rose to me is more when I like to consider it the fuck scenario, right? That might not be the best word to use, right? It's just like, it's more of a desperate monster. Like, I use it when I'm not really, when I don't have the advantage. When it's like, you know what? If I don't do something, I'm gonna lose. You know what I mean? I'm not drawing good or something. That's just like a backs to the wall type of move. Is like, oh, I got nothing, so I gotta do something, right? And it's like, well, scare money don't make money, so I just Black Rose and get rid of everything. But at the same time, Black Rosing can also weaken me because my own stuff gets destroyed, of course. So that might hurt me. I might not have answers for my opponent's setup, but you know, at the same time, I lose my own setup. Sometimes the problem might not be back row, but usually it is. But sometimes it's not back row. Sometimes it's like, I don't want a Black Rose because I don't want to lose my setup. I don't want to lose my field advantage, but I do need to do something because my opponent might have some monsters that I just can't get over. For some reason, they might have like 3,000-4,000s on the field, and somehow, and you know, the strongest monster in my entire deck, including extra deck, is only a 3,000. 3,000 ain't gonna cut it. So it's like, I need something. So then, you know, Black Rose will come in that condition. You know, it's like, Black Rose, get rid of everything. That solves my problem. That solves the whole, I can't get over a 4,000 attacker. Especially I can't get over 3 of them, right? But Moonlight Rose Dragon is really useful in a scenario where if my opponent has a pretty powerful monster that's hard for me to run over, but that monster was obviously special zone. Also comes in handy against monsters that can't be destroyed. There's a lot of new XYZs and synchros that are coming out with the effects of they can't be destroyed by card effects. So Black Rose would be useless against them. Black Rose works great with them because they can't be destroyed. So you do a little debris combo, clear the field, and your monster that can't be destroyed by battle, by card effects, will still be on the field. win you the duel, kind of like a JD wannabe combo, right? So that type of stuff. So since stuff like that is coming out and stuff like that, some monsters with similar effects do exist already. It's like, yeah, because there's a monster that I was playing with. I forget what it was. I think it's in one of my decks where it's unaffected by other monster effects. So I was thinking, like, I think I noticed that, like, I could Black Rose and keep my monster, because Black Rose is a monster effect, of course, and since my monster is unaffected by monster effect, it wouldn't get destroyed. So something like that. I don't remember the monster at the current moment, but it was a pretty good monster. But with Moonlight Rose Dragon, it's more of you summon it to get rid of your opponent's monsters by bouncing it back to their hand. I just wanted to throw it into a video, so I just threw it in here. It's not like it was specifically for 4-axis, but it can be used. I would definitely recommend Black Rose, of course, but like I said, I just wanted to put Moonlight Rose into a video because I just saw it today, because they just added it today. But when a special summon, or when a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. You're going to use this effect once per turn, which is pretty cool. I mean, think about it. Your opponent, synchro summons for a level 5 or higher monster, right? Then you could target that monster and bounce it right back into the into extra deck. That's just drawing. You know what I mean? And then you could do stuff like Safe Zone and things of that nature to protect Moonlight Rose Dragon. I know for sure this motherfucker is gonna cause a stir. He's gonna definitely. I wouldn't be surprised that the Breeze Dragon gets banned just because of this guy. Because it's kind of like an Ophion. You know what I mean? It's a single version of Ophion technically. It's bad enough Ophion doesn't let you special summon level 5 and higher, right? As long as it has a material. This son of a gun, when you special summon this card, or when your opponent special summon a level 5 or higher monster to their side of the field, bounce it back to their hand. Like, that's just crazy. Which is why I'm definitely gonna be putting it in a lot of decks. I'm gonna have Black Rose and Moonlight Rose Dragon, because sometimes I just need to get rid of something temporarily, like Dracosac, stuff like that. But the ability to get rid of a big monster at level 5 or higher, that's an awesome added bonus. Let's see. Continue with the importance of the video. Obviously, because Bear, Gorilla, most of their their effects mainly destroy. You can use Stardust against that. Sparberry Dragon still there from last time. This has no importance. Sorry about that. Zenmain, of course, if they were to try to destroy him, it would just in turn allow me to destroy their stuff. Stroke can survive as long as they're not using Tiger King. Obviously, if they use Tiger King, these effects will get negated. So these are good in just in the scenarios of Bear and Gorilla and any of the other level 4s. They're decent enough, but the main goal is you want to use most of your spells and traps, because those are the most generic stuff you have in your deck. I mean, obviously there's probably tons of monsters you can use against the Fire Fist 4-axis deck, but this is supposed to be generic cards that you probably already have mained in your deck, that they already work. Like if you're playing Heretics, you more likely have enemy controller, so you already can utilize that. You're probably playing a Jar deck, right? Or you just like Book of Moon, so you're gonna have Book of Moon, right? Almost every deck has Valor, at least any competitive deck. MST is generic enough that anyone can play it skillfully. It could go in any deck. Always gotta get rid of that back row. Skill drains for certain selective decks that can abuse and utilize skill drain. without it being a weakness for yourself. You just want to be a weakness for your opponent. For those decks that can't utilize skill drain, Phoenix Chain is just as good. Trample is, you know, monster destruction, Regeki Break, monster destruction, or anything destruction. Karma Cut, just permanently get rid of the monster. Red Screen for defense, and you know, just go on and on. You know, if you're playing what are they called, ghost tricks, you know, obviously you pretty much will have these, so you can utilize them. A lot of these cards, obviously, you know, are generic cards that usually are used in certain decks to help support them get their effects off. You can even use stuff like Book of Life, you know what I mean? After you destroy or run over one of their, you know, their bears or something, then Book of Life to guarantee they can't use Wolf Bark to bring back the bear, and then, you know, go into Tiger King, get their tankies or their other trap cards and whatnot, or spells or something. So that's pretty much it. That'll be the end of this video. Obviously this video will look different when I do the 3-axis, because obviously I won't have stuff like Roach and Spark Dragon. They shouldn't be in there. This one wasn't edited well enough, since I still had some cards left over in there. But that's the end of the video.